Yo, so I figured I would just get started while we wait for hopefully people to come in. I am pretty much just doing a single flavor test, but more of like a first impressions thing because I don't know, I feel like single flavor testing is a little bit more specific and extensive, which I don't necessarily plan on doing today because I did mix up 5 different flavors a week ago to go over today. So single flavor testing on each one of those to nail down exact percentages and all that. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's a lot. But I figure we can at least give our first impressions. And 2 of the flavors are the same profile. They're all similar, but one is the same. So we can see how they compare. I thought that would be interesting. I labeled it as red and pink flavors because that's what they are. So I have red licorice, a red chew candy, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. It's by Vape Train. Fairy Floss, which is supposed to be like a cotton candy type thing. I will tell you by smelling it, it's not just like ethyl maltol. There's definitely other things going on in there. And then a raspberry jelly bean by Wonder Flavors. And then if we have time, I might drip like each other onto the wick and see how they mix together. Because like I said, a lot of these flavors, actually I think all of them would probably go well together because they're all kind of red or pink, fruity or candy type things. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm just getting my RDA ready. Some things that are coming. I have some more VSO flavors coming. Mainly mint flavors. Because I think mint is one of his newer ones that are out right now. He's got a bunch that he's made. But as far as when those will be public and able to be bought, I don't know. So I'm not going to even talk about them. But he's got a lot of stuff coming. But the mint ones are available on his site, and I bought them from his site. I ordered peppermint, natural mint, wintergreen, and then I also ordered huckleberry because a lot of people raved about how good the huckleberry is. So we'll see. I'd stated before I had problems with a couple of his flavors. Not in flavor, they all tasted good, but a couple of them seemed to disagree with me. It could be like the pollen in them. I was talking to a couple different people about what the reason could be, and since they're naturally extracted, it could just be the pollen, or it might be some other word that maybe it's not pollen. It's something similar to pollen, but like the fruit version of that. I think there's a specific name, but I can't remember what it is. But it could be that's causing the issue. But it was just with mainly the berries, unfortunately. Strawberry and blueberry, which tasted great. So I'm kind of pissed about it. But the other flavors I didn't have a problem with, like the banana, the coconut. I don't remember the other ones, but all the other ones I didn't have that type of issue with. So I'm hoping it's just narrowed down to specific berries where the naturally occurring element in them is just causing issues for me. I'm very sensitive to everything. So unfortunately, it's a side effect of that. Okay, so I clicked on YouTube and then it just, whoa. Excuse you. I just clicked on YouTube to see like if anybody came, and it just decided to go turn the volume on. Anyway, I'm gonna just go ahead and get started because, like I said, we have 5 flavors here, and then at the end I'll do like a recap of my thoughts for people that aren't here yet or rewatch it. That's like a recommendation for any new people that happen to come across my content. it's quite extensive. Not, I guess this is the wrong word. It's quite long. So if you don't want to watch an hour to 2 hours of live video, I don't blame you. It's definitely, you know, something that some people like and some people don't. I personally like it sometimes. What I'll do is I'll just turn it on and I'll do something else, whether it's play video games, make jewelry, clean, whatever. So yeah, I don't personally mind it necessarily, but some people do. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, I almost always put a recap in the description box. So if you're only concerned about, you know, whatever flavor I'm reviewing, or like today there's like 5 different ones, like you just want to see what I mixed and what I think of it, it'll be in the description box, like how, you know, what percentage I mixed it at, what I thought of it, etc. So you don't have to go through the whole 2-hour video. I need to get better on updating my ELR notes, because I know for a fact there are a bunch of flavors on there that I have mixed and reviewed and did not put any notes in. So yeah, I need to get better on doing that. But I do have some notes on ELR, so you can check those out as well, just for general information. So I'm going to start off with the red licorices. I'm not a big fan of black licorice. Like, I don't like anise. I know anise or anise, whatever, however you pronounce it, is not exactly the same as black licorice, especially ours. I don't even know if our like commercial black licorice has any anise in it. But I don't like that whole flavor. Like, to me, they taste very identical, or similar enough for me not to like either of them. But red licorice I do like. It's not like my favorite thing in the world to eat or whatever. I'm not a big candy person. When I was younger, I kind of, you know, was more like that. But vaping it, I do like it. So vaping wise, this is my kind of profile. I have had TFA, I forget what they called it. It was like red ropes or red vines, or it was named something else, but they've either changed it or this is a new flavor entirely. I'm not sure. But the one I had, I've definitely had for years, so I did get rid of it and repurchased just the regular TFA red licorice. So that's what I'm going to start with. And then I also got the Flavor West red licorice that I've never tried. I did them both at 3%. It ranges suggestion wise anywhere from, I think it was 2 to 5, but considering that I've been having issues tasting certain things, I figured I would mix a little bit higher than I normally would. Normally I would do like a 2%, but we're going to try it at 3 and see how it goes. Okay, so definitely at 3 I'm getting a nice strong flavor. Not overly strong. I'd say this is perfect for me at 3%. And this, like I said, has been steeping for about a week. And it just tastes like red licorice or red ropes. I mean, that flavor profile is pretty similar. The only difference is mainly texture for me. As far as the real food, red ropes are a little bit softer and have, to me, a more pleasant consistency. I do prefer red ropes over red licorice, like the Twizzlers. But flavor-wise, to me, they taste pretty much the same. And that's what I'm getting. That's exactly what I would expect from this flavor profile. Hello, Shano, Ian, B-Dog. Yeah, it's very pleasant. It's great. I remember liking the TFA Red Vines or Red Rope or whatever the heck it was called before they renamed it. It's just, like I said, the flavor that I had was from years ago, I could tell by the packaging, so it was just time to repurchase it. And I figured while I was doing that, get the Flavor West and see how it is, because I don't recall ever trying their version. And Flavor West, I'm not a huge fan of their range in general, but I would say their candy flavors are pretty good, and some of their bakery flavors are good, such as like the infamous yellow cake. I've recently, well, not so recent, but I've changed from the Flavor West to the Jungle Flavors yellow cake, only because there are known things in the Flavor West one that are debatable as far as, you know, whether or not you should be inhaling them. And I just rather not if I know it's in there and there's a comparable flavor. And I actually prefer the Jungle Flavors slightly, only because it just tastes cleaner to me. I don't have as many issues with my coils getting gunked up or anything like that. Like, I'm very against anything that gunks up my coils. I just don't like it. But it's just personal preference. Yeah, TFA Red Licorice is just as good as I remember it to be. I don't think it's any different than whatever flavor I had from them before they renamed it. So yeah, it's good. We're going to move on to the Flavor West Red Licorice. Like I said, I already mixed this up at 3%, same as the TFA. Because there's recommendations for percentages were about the same. So I figured to give them the best chance of being, you know, the same or similar, to mix in the same percentage. If you're curious of what RDA I'm using, as always, or almost always, I'm using the Icon and a Clapton of some sort. I don't exactly know what. It's a Lightning Vapes spooled Clapton, and it's kanthal. Right off the bat, I prefer the TFA. Not a huge difference in flavor, but I'm getting a little bit more muting from the Flavor West, so I'm guessing they maybe added more ethyl maltol or whatever sweetener they use, which makes sense because I think they started out as a candy flavoring manufacturer, and that might be still what they are to this day. I don't really know. But the TFA at 3% is a little bit more pronounced as far as the actual red licorice flavor, and it tastes a little bit cleaner. And as far as what cleaner means, I guess the flavor is just a little bit more crisp. It's a little bit more, it's like less muffled. Like there's nothing else competing with what it's supposed to be, which is the red licorice. Like it's very distinctively red licorice. There isn't, you know, any other flavors kind of muddling up that pronounced flavor. Whereas the Flavor West, I can taste the red licorice flavor, but there's other stuff going on that kind of takes away from it. I'm guessing, like I said, like some kind of ethyl maltol thing. And I'm not sure if increasing the flavor would help or not. I'm not entirely sure. And I almost get like a bubblegum kind of note. Yeah, it almost has like a bubblegum note in it, which isn't bad. It's just I do prefer the TFA Red Licorice to the Flavor West. Moving on. We might get through these pretty quickly. For once. I'm starting to get like, my nose is running because I'm breathing it through my nose, which I probably shouldn't do. I don't even know if I can turn off the camera in here. I don't think you can anymore. That's annoying. Oh, I see paper towels. I also have some new equipment I want to go over kind of briefly. One of which actually I'm using, so I guess we could talk about that briefly. I got the Aegis single, I forget what exactly it's called, but it's the one that's a single battery. It takes a 21700, or it has an adapter. You can use an 18650. I have a 21700 in it. I'm quite a fan of the Aegis mods. They're very well made. They're durable. It's my dad's everyday, all day mod that he likes to use. And I got a really good deal on this. It's not available at the price that I got it from, or got it for. I paid like 24 bucks for it. And yeah, it's just, it's nice. It's probably going to be my go-to for single flavor testing. So that's one of the things that I got with the whole Labor Day sales that were going on. What kind of glitches? Like it buffering? I haven't had any issue. And I watch YouTube a lot. All right, we're gonna move on to, we're gonna do the Red Chewy Candy by Vape Train. Or no, we're gonna do Fairy Floss. I'm trying to do flavors in an order where the previous flavor isn't gonna much impact the flavor I put on top of it. I don't use dual coils ever. I don't like them. I use a single flavor or a single coil. That's why I use the icons for single flavor testing, because I only use one of the posts for a coil. At one point I was using it as like an all-day device or whatever, but the problem is every time I would want to drip, I'd have to take the cap off and kind of drip in that vicinity because I'm not utilizing both sides. Otherwise it would just pull to one side and it was annoying. But for single flavor testing, where I'm kind of just taking the cap off anyway, it's not that big of a deal. My all-day device or RDA, whatever, is the Drop Dead. And I like it because it has that single or centered where you can center your coil. And that way I can just drip right down the center and be good. Yeah, so the Fairy Floss definitely has some kind of fruit note. It's a very prominent fruit, but I'm not entirely sure what it is yet. Because I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty sure Fairy Floss is just cotton candy. But it's not like just ethyl maltol. Because a lot of cotton candies out there are just ethyl maltol. That's all they are. There's no added note, like a fruit note, like a strawberry or a cherry or whatever. There's definitely something here. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. What do I use? A cell? What do you mean? Having trouble figuring out what the fruit note in this is. Might be strawberry. Yeah, it might be strawberry, like a very almost jammy kind of strawberry. It's not like super bright, which is odd because, as you know, I've been having issues tasting strawberry. So it kind of threw me off. It's like, what is that flavor? I haven't vaped that flavor in a long time. So if I finally found a strawberry I can actually taste in a vape, that would be nice. The problem is, though, sometimes I'll taste the strawberry for like a little bit and then it just disappears. No, this is the Fairy Floss. I decided to do this. I'm going to do the Red Chew next. But I definitely get like a strawberry. As far as the description, Vape Train's one, at least on their main site, where their description's not always great. It just says that it can add sweetness and depth to many recipes such as candy, desserts, bakery, and more. And you can use it by itself. Recommended percentage is 5 to 10%. I did it at 1. I'm surprised I'm getting as much flavor out of it at 1%. But then again, I think I usually use their flavors quite low compared to what it's recommended at on their site. And as far as there's 2 reviews on their site, but it doesn't even say like what it is. It just says that they like it, basically. Let's see if ELR has any better notes in here. They said they're getting raspberry. Could be raspberry. Still trying to figure it out. If it is raspberry, it's a good one because typically I'm not a huge fan of raspberry flavors. And it's not one of my favorite berries. Like, I don't dislike it. It's just not one of my favorites. I definitely prefer strawberry, blueberry, even blackberry. Not super familiar with huckleberry. I don't know if I've even had it in real life. Probably not. Uh-oh. Might need to put another battery in here. I don't know. I don't know that I would call it raspberry. To me, it tastes more strawberry, but like a deep strawberry. And there is a vanilla note in it, like a vanilla cotton candy kind of note. I like it. I just don't know exactly what it is. It's either strawberry or raspberry. Don't necessarily trust my strawberry perceptors. They're kind of off. Some people are saying they get a hint of citrus. I don't know that I get that, but I have steeped it for over a week, or about a week. So maybe that faded citrus can tend to fade a bit. And I'm also mute to lemon. So if there's a lemon, if that's the note they're getting, I wouldn't necessarily taste it anyway. And whatever I'm getting though, it's pleasant. It's a nice fruity flavor. It is sweet. I don't know that I would personally increase this. At 1%, I'm getting good flavor, and with ethyl maltol, you have to be careful because it can mute, especially if you bump it up too much. And for me personally, not only do I get muting, I get like a weird, that bitter note I talk about when I can't taste strawberries. I get that note, whatever that is. But yeah, I like it. I think it would be good in a lot of different candy mixtures, fruits in general. I don't know about bakery. They said bakery. I guess maybe. I am getting kind of a jamminess from it personally. I don't know if that's just me though. I didn't see anybody else say that, but they also mixed it quite a bit higher than I do, or I mixed it, and they're probably vaping it a lot higher than I am. I'm only at 22.5 watts, and my coil's at a 0.36. So, yeah. We're gonna move on to red chewy candy, or red chew candy, whatever. I'm not gonna read the description yet because I don't want to be influenced. This one I did smell like a raspberry when I smelled it. So I might be like, when I think red chew candy though, I think of like a red starburst, which is cherry, but these are from Australia, so their candies can be different. Tastes similar to the red licorice. I did this one at 1.5%. And then reading the notes, there's not many. The only person actually put in kind of tasting notes said that it was a shake and vape pretty much. And the fruit portion of, well, I'll just read it. He said it tastes like a gummy type licorice candy with a hint of raspberry. A minor throat hit. I'm not getting a throat hit, but it's been steeping for a week. And then they said after 3 days, chewy candy portion steeped out, a little of the red in the profile, similar to raspberry. So pretty much it stayed the same, except it wasn't as chewy, it sounds like, and maybe the throat hit went away. Not a whole lot of notes. This is one of the newer flavors from Bull City. Because they have quite a bit of vape train flavors, but they're slowly adding more and more to them, and this is one of the newer ones I saw. So I figured I'd grab it, especially considering I got the other like licorice type flavors. I figured this one would be similar enough to kind of group together. On their actual site, it says that it's recommended between 1 and 4%, and that you can shake and vape it or steep it. So didn't really give much of a thing there. And it doesn't say what it is. There's a picture of a red chewy candy, but that's it. There's no description at all. And no reviews. So So it's supposed to be a creamy raspberry candy bar. Yeah, I could see that. It does, I get like a hint of that red licorice note, but there is more of a different type of main fruit note compared to the red licorice. And I'm not even sure what red licorice is supposed to taste like, what fruit or whatever, if it is supposed to taste like anything. I don't really know. But this definitely has like something else going on. Yeah, I would say maybe raspberry, but it's pretty light, at least at the 1% and steeped out. This might be something that I would prefer fresh. That's the thing about certain fruits. It's like you can get shit for doing it right away, and then you get shit for steeping it, because it really depends. Some things need to steep or sit, some don't. Fruits in general, I find that they don't really need to, but yeah, sometimes flavors fade when they sit. So this might have been one that I preferred fresh, but what I'm getting now is not unpleasant. It's just pretty light, and it's just like a vaguely raspberry, light licorice-ish flavor. But I will say, for all day vapes, I do prefer something light. So yeah, I don't dislike it. It's just nothing super unique in my opinion. Um, and I'd probably throw another fruit in there. I don't know. All right, we're down to our last one, which is the raspberry jelly bean by Wonder Flavors. This one I did at, where did it go? There it is. 1.5%. And this is from their newer launch of flavors. A lot of people like their jelly beans. I only recall the black cherry one, and I did not like that one. But I think it's some kind of note in some cherry flavors that I just particularly don't like, because there's a different cherry that I think I had the same exact note in it that I just didn't like. I can't remember what the other flavor was, but I didn't like that flavor either. So it's something in there. But like, if I could get past that note, it wasn't bad. It's just it was too strong of that whatever note it is. I couldn't get past it. Okay, I'm not getting whatever note the black cherry jelly bean had, so that's good. I'm definitely getting like candied raspberry and a little bit of the inside of the jelly bean. Not so much of the outside, but I'm honestly not a huge fan of jelly beans in real life, mainly because the outer part of the shell. Like if I eat jelly beans at all, it'll be like the Starburst ones, or the Jelly Bellies are okay. But as far as like going out of my way to eat those, no. But this is good. It doesn't have that note in jelly beans that I don't like, which is good. And I say at 1.5%, it's a good percentage for me. For most people, you might need to bump it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not getting any unpleasantness, because like some candies, like if they lean too strong in the ethyl maltol realm, it gets a little funky. I'm not getting that from here. The raspberry is nice. I'm not a huge fan of certain types of raspberry, like TFA's. I forget what raspberry it is. Like sweet raspberry might be. Not a fan of that, but yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have to take a break of vaping for a minute. And while I'm doing that, I can go over the other equipment I bought. But yeah, I like it. It's a good raspberry. It's a good jelly bean kind of flavor. It's got a little bit of like the jelly bean essence to it. A lot of times with things that rely on texture, it's hard to translate that into a vape because it's like, how do you make something gummy when it's being vaped? It's not being consumed. It's difficult. But I will say that this definitely gives me, I don't know how they do it, to be honest, how any of them do it, where it has like that, and it does linger a little bit. Like Wayne, DIY or Die, he was talking about, what do you call it? He had a certain term for it, but it was basically like flavors that stay on the palate, opposed to flavors that you just vape them and then they're gone. Like they don't linger at all. There's no, like they're just hit it and quit it. He didn't use that term, but yeah, this definitely lingers a little bit. Not in a bad way, just, it stays with you a little bit. And it could just be the fact that all of these profiles I vaped have been very similar. It could be that, but yeah, it definitely has like a texture to it, like a little, the way a jelly bean is. It has like that almost chunky, sugary kind of thing going on. I don't know what you just said, Chevy Man. Can somebody translate? I don't know what that means. I'm guessing you might be on a mobile. I'm just reading notes or chat. Let's see what ELR said about the raspberry jelly bean. Very nice red raspberry flavor, thick gummy mouthfeel, sweet, almost cotton candy-ish flavor on exhale. This other person said they're a fan of the black jelly bean, black cherry jelly bean, and they had high hopes. They said they were getting a cough drop kind of feel to it. I didn't get that, but they did mix higher than I did, so that could be why. And I also steeped it. I don't know if they did. That might affect it as well. Basically, they don't know whether or not they like it or not, but they're thinking about mixing it lower. And that's about it. A lot of people mixed it quite high compared to me. The person that did like the flavor mixed it lower at 2%, closer to my percentage. So I guess I would recommend mixing it on the lower end, just because if you mix it higher, it looks like there's a potential to be medicinal, which happens a lot with raspberry or cherry flavors. You have to be careful. All right, so I got the Aegis. I already talked about that. I also got this thing. So Jen Winstead, fellow Mix and Vixen, we were talking a bit about all the, deals and Labor Day sales and all that kind of stuff. And she posted this. I forget which site it was on or page. It was on Facebook somewhere, but it was only $8 for this mod. Never heard of it or anything like that, but I figured it's a dual 18650. It's by Sigelli, and I mean, $8, whatever. It was like $15 shipped, if that. It might have been even a little bit less. But it's the Sigelli Chaos. Not the prettiest mod in the world. I don't really like the plastic, or it's not plastic, but it looks plastic. I don't like the way it looks like it's plastic. But I actually did really like the fact that there's clear panels on it. I've always liked that look. You can remove, the battery part of it. You can't remove the other side, at least without unscrewing it. I don't know why you would do that though. But you can change like the color configuration inside the little lights. But I figured as a backup mod for $8, and it is Sigelli, and I've had a couple of their devices and I liked them. So I figured why not? And yeah, so this was $8. You can't find it anymore. It was on a site that I'm also not familiar with, but they turned out to be legit, so that was good. I think it was like, I don't even know if I could say this word on YouTube. It was like Vape Mafia or something like that. But I don't know if they're going out of business or they're just trying to get rid of stock, but they were having crazy low prices on a lot of their items. But unfortunately, a lot of them are not available anymore because people bought them. But yeah, that's what I got. I mean, it fires. I've used it. The menu is not the prettiest in the world. It's pretty basic, but honestly, I don't care too much about that. I'm not really looking at the menu all that much outside of setting it. So as long as I can read what it says, I don't care. You can also change it to where the lights always stay on. They can pulsate. There's different colors. The menu is pretty easy to use. So I'll show you the different colors. That's purple, green, blue. It's supposed to be yellow. It looks kind of orange in the camera. Red. Like a lighter blue. And purple, green. It looks different on camera than it does in real life as far as the different colors. But yeah, I thought it was pretty dope. I mean, for $8, why not? We'll see how long it lasts. I did see a couple people say that the longevity of the device is not great. Somebody used it, I think, for 2 weeks and it crapped out on them. So I guess we'll find out. I also got a bunch of batteries. Not like the most, thrilling thing in the world, but I got the Samsung 21700s from IMR. I think I got 2 sets of 2, so 4. I already had 2 sets of 2, but I figured I'd get some more, especially considering that this takes the 21700s. So I'd get a set dedicated to this device specifically because all my other ones were paired already. So what else did I get? I feel like I got one other mod. Did I? Maybe I didn't. I think I was looking and I didn't. So I was going a little nuts. I bought other stuff that isn't vape related that probably no one gives a crap about. Oh, well, while I'm looking at other things that I bought, because I know I bought flavors or I'm getting flavors. I'll go over those as well. But while I'm doing that, I mentioned it briefly on the Mix and Vixens that I got my dad into squonking. Something I thought he might like for a while, but I also know that he's very stubborn. And he pretty much finds what he likes and he stays with it, which I don't blame him. I'm similar in that I don't like to try different things all that often because a lot of times it's just a hassle and it's annoying and I already know what I like and I use it. The problem with his setup is he uses a device called the Revo or Revo. It's a Aspire Revo tank. It's got, instead of a coil, it's like these little discs. They kind of look, I don't know, they look kind of meshy, but they're not or something. I don't really know. But the problem with that tank is it's older. It's going to become harder and harder to get replacement coils for it or the tank itself, especially with everything going on. I really wanted to get him into something more sustainable. So I asked him, you know, like, have you ever squonked? Which I'm pretty sure he hadn't, because pretty much everything vape related goes through me, and then I introduce it to him. With the exception of the Revo, he did that on his own. I did not recommend that, but he likes it, so whatever. So I set him up with the same atomizer I use. It's the Drop Dead. It's just one of the ones I happen to have a squonk for. I tried one other one, but the problem with that one is the airflow was at the bottom, and what I feared with him, because he hates leaking, it's like one of his worst pet peeves with anything is if it leaks in any way, which is understandable. You don't get it all messy and all that crap. So with him being new to squonking, I figured that, because even with me, and I'm not a new vapor by any means, but I'm not very versed in squonking. The issue I was having with certain devices is over squonking, and then it leaks. So I wanted to give him something that had the least potential to leak, basically. So I figured with the Drop Dead, the airflow is all the way up here. So if he is leaking out of here, there's a problem. So I set him up with that and the G-Box, because I never use it. It's something I would only use if I'm traveling, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I figured I'd let him use it, see what he feels about it until his tank came in, because he was waiting on his tank because he lost a piece for it or whatever. So he's been using it and he really likes it. The problem is he said that he actually likes it too much. And what happens is he goes through liquid really quickly. Because that's one thing about RDAs, is they do go through juice quicker than a lot of tanks do. It's just the nature of, you know, how it is or whatever. So he really likes it, so that's good. It gives him another option outside of the Revo in case he can't get a hold of that tank anymore or it breaks again, because he's already gone through 2 of the tanks, which he ended up finding the one piece he lost. So he's back up to having 2 or 3 of them. I don't remember what, but so he has backups. But eventually I suspect he's not going to be able to find, you know, either the tank or the replacement coils eventually. And at least this way he knows he likes squonking, and as long as you have an RDA that is capable of squonking, which I have several, he's pretty much good for a while. So yeah, I'm happy he likes it. I think at one point, if I can find a good deal on it, I'm going to grab him the, what is that called? It's Brian's mod. What is that called? Somebody help. I know the name of it, but I just can't think of it right now. But I think he'll like the design of that better, because the little juice tube is kind of built into the tank, and you just unscrew the top, fill it, and that's it. Instead of having, because the G-Box, you have to pop open the bottom battery tray, and then the little bottle just kind of comes out, and then the batteries come out. It's just kind of a hassle that you have to mess with the batteries and the thing every time you need to refill it. So I could see that potentially being annoying if that were something he was using on a regular basis. So I feel like the top side, yes. So the top side I feel like would be better for him, because it's just very easy. You just unscrew it and pour it. You don't have to deal with everything flying around and whatever. So if I can find him a good deal on that, I might buy that. I actually thought about buying it prior to now, but I wanted to make sure he even liked squonking, because I don't know, some people love it, some people not so much. Me, I like it if I'm traveling, but if I'm not, I just no. All right, so we're gonna wrap up soon with some things that are coming. Like I said in the beginning, I have some more VSO flavors coming, mainly mints. I don't know how interested people will be, because a lot of people don't like mint vapes. I personally do on occasion. It's on my rotation. Speaking of rotations, I'm still doing what I said I would try doing to try to help with my flavor fatigue, or whatever that you want to call it. And that's working. So what I've actually done to hopefully help it even more is I've added some other profiles that I don't typically vape in with the other profiles, because I was mainly still doing fruits with them, and I'm like, okay, well, fruits are my problem, what caused the whole problem to begin with. So if I add some other profiles that I don't typically do on a regular basis, it might help even more. So I've added a tobacco. I added one of my coffee vapes, the s'more coffee thing that I did recently. So that's on rotation. It's like a chocolate coffee s'more thing. I don't know. So I did that. And then I still have the peppermint and I still have a honeydew in there. So those are like my 4. I might add a 5th to maybe diversify it even more. Maybe a bakery would be good to throw in there since I don't really do much of that. Just trying to help solve this issue. But some other flavors I'm going to be doing soon are, I don't know if you guys have seen them. I didn't even know that they existed until Bull City reached out. But apparently there's a thing called Sabaki aromas. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. So yeah, there's Sabaki super aromas. And they're like from the same area over there where the mullenberry is from. So we'll see how those are. I got quite a big selection to go over from them. I wanted to grab some of the more obscure flavors that I don't have like a ton of. So I grabbed Thai pineapple. I figured that might be interesting. I got a tiramisu because the only one I have I think is from Flavor Art and maybe Flavor Express. I got Borneo vanilla. I don't know what Borneo is, but I like vanilla, so I figured I'd grab that. I got another candy floss, so we can see how their candy floss compares to the vape trains. I got candy cuckoo. It's some kind of chocolate candy. I've never heard of it, so I figured I'd grab that. I got creme brulee. So the only creme brulee I really like is the, was it one-on-one or vape train? Might have been vape train. And then there was like one other one that was okay. I got crisp waffle because there's not many waffle vapes, if any, that I particularly like. I got Cornish cream, shortbread biscuit, Scandinavian fruits, and a milk and caramel cream. And then a bunch of other kind of like more standard ones. Mascarpone cream. The only mascarpone I have is winter flavors, so I figured I'd grab that. Almond, garden mint, another ice cream, whipped cream, natural mint, cherries, banana, watermelon, caramel melon, a plum. Plum is another one. I've only had like one and it wasn't good, so we'll see how this one is. And I figured I'd grab their peach because I have issues vaping peach. I just figured I'd try theirs. Why not? So those are a bunch that are on the way. I'll probably do what I did today and just mix them in advance, so at least they have time to steep. Especially the creams are probably going to need some time. Whatever bakery ones will need some time. So at least they're, ready. But before we go, I did want to mix a couple of these together, like on top of each other, like 1 drop of each, just to see how they go together. Oh, I never even put my 21700s in here. Okay. Did really well then for vaping on a 18650 that long. I was waiting on my new batteries to come in, and then I never put them in here. Alrighty then. But yeah, they have a bunch of flavors on there. I think they got rid of Salubarome. I don't see those anymore. So the Sabaki and Chemovatic are kind of like the newer lines that they're carrying. vapor on this smells really good. That's another thing that I enjoy is like if the vapor or the smell that lingers in the room is pleasant. Most of the time I don't even notice it, especially if I'm vaping on something that I vape all day. I don't really notice it, but like for newer flavors, at least initially I'll smell, you know, what it smells like when it's just around you. And it smells really pleasant, very fruity and sweet and candy-like. All right, which ones do we want to mix together? We had the Fairy Floss. We have both red licorices. The red chewy candy and the jelly bean. I kind of want to see what the jelly bean and the red licorice will do together, or maybe the Fairy Floss. I definitely want to use the Fairy Floss with something. I don't really know which one I want to put that with, though. So I guess well, we can do we can do that, but I want to do the like 1-in-1 first. So just to go over in case people missed it, so I did TFA Red Licorice and Flavor West Red Licorice, both at 3%. I much prefer the TFA because it tastes, the licorice flavor is more prominent. It tastes cleaner. It's just overall a lot more pronounced of a red licorice and very apparent that it's a red licorice. Whereas the Flavor West was a little bit muddled. The red licorice was there. It wasn't bad. It just, I like the TFA more. The Fairy Floss is a kind of weird flavor in that I can't really peg down exactly what it's supposed to be. Some people said it's like a raspberry. I almost get a strawberry, but my strawberry senses are a little messed up, so it could very well be some kind of raspberry. But it tastes almost like a jammy, like a deeper whatever berry it is. And then a little bit of the vanilla cotton candy in the background. The Vape Train Red Chew Candy is a light raspberry chew candy of some sort, and apparently it vapes better like as a shake and vape as opposed to when you steep it. Some of the flavor gets lost and the chewy texture, I guess, gets lost. I wouldn't know because I only vaped it after steeping it. And then the Wonder Flavors Red or Raspberry Jelly Bean tastes like exactly what it's supposed to be. It's a pleasant candied raspberry jelly bean flavor. It's good. There's really not much else to say about it. Yeah, mango flavors are a little difficult because I don't know. There's like a mustiness that's naturally in mangoes that doesn't always translate well when you vape them. I'm not a huge mango vapor myself. All right, so we're going to do, I'm just going to do the Fairy Floss and the red licorice. We'll do that. Oops, wasn't supposed to happen. To me, Bayless tastes like puke. Not a pleasant flavor. I know I give a lot of crap to Bayless, and I feel bad because I do like Mollenberry as a whole. I just really don't like that flavor, and I know Lumi does. And she always talks about it so much, so that's the only reason why I bring it up as much as I do. It's not the worst flavor in the world, it's just not good. I think it's because my expectations were so high that when I actually vaped it, I was like very disappointed. I'm kind of irritated with Osmotis. The 2 mods that I've bought from them, both have crapped out on me. So no, I definitely did not. And it could just be the 2 that I happened to get, but... And they both had touch screens, which should have been a red flag to me to begin with, but... One was highly acclaimed, and the other one I got for a deal, so that's the only reason I bought them, because I don't like touch screens in general. Like, even phone-wise, I was very against it for the longest time, just because there's so many things that can go wrong with them, and a lot of them, once they're glitchy, they're pretty much screwed. And honestly, if I could have it my way, I'd probably still have a Sidekick. I really like that phone because of the keyboard. That's most of what I do on my phone, is texting somebody, whether it be a DM or, you know, an actual text message. But Osmotis? Which one are we talking about? I don't really have much of a loyalty to companies as far as mods go, because I haven't had enough of any particular one to really have an opinion, I guess. I pretty much just go based upon... I'll watch multiple reviews of people that tend to have the same opinions as me, or, you know, friends like Fresh or Addie or whoever. If they recommend it and I hear recommendations for a certain particular thing over and over again, I'll probably grab it. That's what happened with the Evdillo, however you pronounce this thing. And the only thing that, like I said before, that I'm kind of worried about, and ironically, it's the same thing that happened to Lumi, is this battery. The way that they have their battery door set up, it seems jinky to me. Like, once this thing stops hooking in the way that it does, and it's hard to describe it if you don't have the device, but it's a certain way where I could just see it failing, and then once that happens, there's nothing you can do to really fix that. That's the only really concern I have with it in particular. But I guess mod-wise, so far what I've had the most luck with, knock on wood, is the Aegis. And my dad's, that's what he's been using for, I think, over a year now. But other than that, can't really think of anything that I have multiple devices from the same brand of. Yeah, the little, it's got like this little grippy thing on the bottom, and it is kind of hard. Like if you had like fake nails, which I don't, because I can't do them. I tried doing them. I'm too rough with my hands to mess with it, but it's very stiff, and you have to get in there and pop it, and it is a bit of a hassle. I really don't like the battery door. Just in general, I don't like it. But I think the way it is designed is because it keeps it compact. Like, it is a very compact mod for what it is. Like, it's capable of a dual 21700, which is how I have it. And the batteries alone for that are huge. Like, they're massive. So the fact that they were able to get it as, you know, compact as it is impressive, but I feel like it's because of the way that the battery door is. If it wasn't designed that way, I don't think they'd be able to make it as compact as it is. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Aussie, I'm glad that worked for you, but I'm afraid to do any kind of modding to anything. Just because I feel like anytime I do that, I end up screwing it up to the point where it's not even usable. So I'll keep that in mind. But for now, I'm just going to hope that I don't drop it, because I feel like that's when it's going to happen. Because I do have a tendency to drop my mods, because I work from home. And I usually, like I have right now, I have it on my desk towards the edge, not completely on the edge, but it's enough to where, like, if I twirl around to get something, something else knocks into it and then it falls on my hardwood floor. And mods don't like hardwood floors or concrete. It's just, they don't like it. And I've already dropped it once and I was like, ooh. And then, of course, the battery door flung off. So I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. I drop it too many times and that battery door is just going to quit and I'll be screwed. Hello, Vaping Bachelor. All right, so I mixed the Fairy Floss and the TFA Red Licorice together. I don't do mech mods. I don't trust myself with them. Like, I have a couple just in case, but no. Like, ironically enough, the one Osmosis mod that I have that still works, I don't think it's considered a mech. It's more of a unregulated, because it has a little bit of safety features, but it's not like variable wattage or anything. So it's got like a little bit of circuitry in it or whatever. So it's not a true mech, but it's like unregulated. But I only bought that because it was, Osmosis was having a sale, so I got it and the C4 atomizer, which a lot of people hated on the C4. And mind you, I didn't use it a ton, but it is that mod right there. It's next to the Lustro, which is the one that broke. Can't really see it from back here. But a lot of people hated on the C4. I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know. Maybe just because I haven't used it enough. But I didn't really think it was that bad. And I got it at a really, really good price. It was like, I think it was less than 20 bucks. And it matched the mod that I bought. That's really why I got it. Plus, I needed the shipping. Because I think I got everything shipped for just over 50 bucks or something like that. It was like right above whatever their free shipping cutoff was. But yeah. So, the Fairy Floss and the Red Licorice, I don't know if I like them together. Hello, Vaping Bachelor. I don't remember if I said hi. I get in tangents and I forget what I was going to say. I'm still looking for a completely clear mod. So if anyone sees that, basically what I'm looking for is similar to the one that Vicious Ant came out with, but not paying that much money for it. Because theirs was ridiculously expensive and I'm not paying for that. I'm also looking for, like I said, the top side. If that goes on sale anywhere, let me know. Because I saw a couple that were on sale, but they were of course out of stock. And I mean, more Aegis mods, both for me and my dad. Hero mod, I'm pretty sure I saw that. There's some kind of issue with it. I think it's a single battery and prefer a dual. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks. And I think it was expensive too. I'm trying to go in there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just because it wasn't available here yet. There was something. What was it? Oh, I don't like overall the design of it. I don't like that lip and the top right here. So I feel like that's really going to restrict the RDAs that you're able to put in there, or the tanks that you put in there. I don't like that. I like it to be, I like more angular mods. It's a little bit too wavy. I don't like the way it looks. I also don't like the fire button, the way it's positioned on the side. It's just overall kind of weird looking to me. I really dig the way that the Vicious Ant one looked. And that might just be like, I mean, you might not be able to get anything like that for that, you know, the price point I'm willing to pay. I've found mods that would have been perfect, but they, for whatever reason, aren't around anymore. So I guess enough people didn't like them or weren't popular. I don't know. I think the Exotic was one of the ones. Was it one of the ones that was clear that I like? But they don't sell them clear anymore. Like the couple I found that were perfect, they don't have them anymore. Yeah, those are kind of transparent, not necessarily clear. Or translucent, I guess would be more. I did look into those, but I'm looking for like true clear. I like to be able to see kind of like this, the inside of it. I just like the way that looks. I think it's dope looking. It reminds me of a computer, like how they have them like all set up with the clear panels. I don't know. I'm kind of a nerd a little bit, so I like seeing circuitry and shit. Yeah, I know, Jay. Number one, that mod's not available anymore. Like, he was talking about it on a recent show. He's like, if you find one, you're paying like probably thousands of dollars for it, just because there were so few made. But yes, his looked very nice. And every time I see him using it, I was like, that is a sexy ass mod. But even when they came out, they were expensive. Because, I mean, he makes typically more expensive things. Because that's just what he likes to do. But yeah, definitely the way his looks is very, very nice, and something more similar to what I'd be looking for. But again, that might just come with the price point that's just the way it's going to be. I don't know. The Squonk version is clear. I don't really like Squonks though. I don't know. I might look into it. I wish I could still share my screen on the way that this YouTube thing is set up, but you can't anymore. At least not with the way. I'd have to do it through OBS to be able to screen share, and I don't like going through OBS. I always seem to have issues when I do that. But yeah, if you guys come across, I wish I could show you. I don't know if there's, maybe I can link it. Let's see. I saw a couple of ones that were like in the range that I'd want to do. They're just not available anymore. Like this was one of them. The ABS box mod was clear. I mean, it's a little janky looking, but I think it still looked pretty cool. It looks pretty old, but this is something similar to what I would like. It could even be frosted. I don't know if I'd mess with JAs. Probably not a good idea. So don't do that. Leave that man alone. Not to mention Bree. Bree looks like she could probably fuck some shit up too. I don't know. I'd probably leave him alone. Whatever this is looks pretty dope. ODB. I don't know. That looks like it's a battery wrap. Oh, it's Jay Hayes' mod. That's why it looks nice. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm pretty sure that's his logo in the bottom right corner. Yeah. Bye. I'm going to be leaving soon too. I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I came across when I was looking. I even thought of having my brother print one because he has a 3D printer. But the problem is you can't get it quite as clear. Like, it's going to be pretty... It's just not going to look very good. This one's pretty dope too. The Primo 21700. Oh, it's by Vicious Ant. Makes sense. And they're the ones that made, I think, the Jay Hayes mod anyway. And I know there was some drama with that. I'm not even getting into that, but it does look nice. I'm not going to lie, it looks nice. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the ones. Because I saw it. At first, I only saw pictures of it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And then I looked at the price and I was like, never mind. I mean, technically, yeah, I could buy one for sure. Like, I got the money to do it. But can I justify spending that much money on a vape mod? No, I can't. Just because of the way it looks. I'm not in that kind of position to just be throwing. Plus, I have a hard time throwing any kind of money away, like in a large amount, to one thing. Like, I'm good spending like the same amount on like various things, but like all on one thing, I don't know. I'm weird. I don't know. I think you get the idea though. There was another reason I didn't. Oh, because even if I had my brother 3D print it, I still would have to obviously get the insides in there. And then I'd have to ask somebody to do that. And it was just going to be too much. And I didn't even know if it would look good. And my brother would have to buy specific filament or whatever you call it for the mod itself because he didn't have any that would work with what I wanted. It was just going to be too much. So I was just like, you know what, screw it. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Mix and Vixens is on in a couple hours. We're going to be going over some kind of, looks like a pound cake with icing and almonds on it. So we did get some participants who mixed along with us. I haven't looked at them yet. I try not to look at any of the submitted recipes until after I've submitted my own, just so I'm not influenced anyway to mix similar to them. I want to do my own thing. And then afterwards, you know, I'll look at them. But that's what we're doing. So if you're interested in that, check us out. It's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you want to laugh, DIY or Die Wayne on his channel, I'm pretty sure, hopefully it's still on YouTube. We'll see if it lasts. But I think it was his Friday show yesterday. No, day before. Me and James made him do a karaoke, and it was very entertaining. You skip all the way to the end, like the last couple minutes. You can check that out. It was very good. I saved it. So anytime I'm feeling a certain type of way, I listen to it or watch it, and it's very funny. So I'm going to get out of here and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.